very auspicious, but actually remember their association, remember their example, remember and glorify them and try to serve them if, in some way, at least serve their message, serve what they gave to us. So of course, of all days, we should definitely remember Srila Bhāratī Mahārāja, because that was one of his big specialities. I'm sure everybody has already said that. And I think it was very amazing that he chose to play this Leela of disappearance, which was so heartbreaking, and I'm still processing it on this day, because this is Haridas Thakur's disappearance day. This is the day that we remember also Vaishnavas who don't have calendar days. If there's somebody who is a Vaishnav and you don't know when they left, then today you can remember them. And also we read this Leela of Srila Haridas Thakur on the disappearance day of our Guru Varga, and also when a Vaishnav leaves, we remember this thing, especially that Krishna, Mahaprabhu said that by the mercy of Krishna, I got their association, but then by his independence, he has broken that association. That verse is very consoling when we lose the association of a Vaishnav, because even Mahaprabhu feels some pain and is saying, Krishna's independence, he's broken that association. He's showing us how we should both be joyful, but also realize that we are in separation and that we do have some loss. And so by disappearing on this day, Srila Bhāratī Mahārāja has actually made it so that we can always remember, today I must remember all the Vaishnavas who have always helped me, all the Vaishnavas who have left, all the Vaishnavas who I must pray to them, please give me your blessings. So that's yet another mercy he's given us. I just wanted to just briefly say the whole reason that I have any connection to anybody through my late mother, Devamoyini Devi Dasi. Her grandparents were Dr. S.N. Ghosh and Srimati Nalini Ghosh, and they took initiation from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And on the day they took initiation in Jogapith, on that day, Srila Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Daita Madhav Maharaj, he came to Jogapith to see darshan, and because they were taking initiation and there was a feast, then on that day he met Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he never forgot that. It was such a coincidence. They didn't do anything for him on purpose. They weren't trying to say, oh, maybe now somebody will come and meet they were doing their own benefit. They were trying to get initiation, but because he was so grateful, he never forgot that. And later, after Srimati Nalini Devi passed away and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur left Manifest Vision, and there was a little gandagol a little trouble in the math, he went and he found my great-grandfather Sujanananda Prabhu, and he kept him very close, and he kept him in Sri Chaitanya Gauriya Math. Actually, that that rented flat, Rash Bihari Avenue, it is close to my great-grandfather's old house. And then the Satish Mukherjee Road Math. And so then because of his profound affection that he and Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, and Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj had for their godbrother, their householder godbrother, because of that, they have showered so much mercy for so many generations on us, on our family. And even though I have no qualification and I grew up here, every time I would go see Srila Bhāratī Mahārāja, he was so merciful. He would make time to give me darshan, and he would remember my Guru Maharaj and my family and the Vaishnavas, and he would give me some blessings. And that web of sambandha, that web of affection that has lasted it's now like 100 years for so many people. Many people, I'm not a Vaishnav internally, and then I have some family, they're not Vaishnav externally, but still so much affection, and every year inviting, please come Janmashtami, please come Gaur Purnima, please do this, you're all our family, you belong here. So much affection, because out of love for that one god brother that's lasted. And he was the exemplifying of that, because he was the agent of Srila Param Gurudev to serve all the Parivar of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, that he wanted to make sure that whole Parivar was served, that whole Chaitanya family, and his main agent in executing that service, especially after Srila Gurudev became Acharya and was so busy, was Srila Bhāratī Mahārāja. And so he exemplified he exemplified that, and he served Srila Gurudev so lovingly as a god brother, as like the number one example without any for so many years, that it also was this great example for us of how to be in our family, how to be in this Vaishnava Sambandha. So having seen that, I have no understanding, I have no realization, but I've heard from so many people and seen an external way. I just have to give some honor to it and pray that one day I'll be able to realize that in my heart and actually act on it. And I had a whole speech written, but there's no power. I can't read my speech. It's on my computer. But the one thing I want to say is there's a list of principles that he lived his life by that he articulated at the end. Bhaktivedanta Siddhanti Maharaj posted it or wrote it. It's going around. And some of them, they seem kind of like practical, very practical advice. But it's like, well, I always wondered, why did he say this? And it came to me sometime that to do Vaishnav Seva, because I'm a very disorganized person, by the way. I'm an extremely disorganized person. I'm not very good at doing anything. And I was thinking, what do I need to get from Srila Bhāratī Maharaj? To do Vaishnav Seva, you have to be a together person. Like you have to have your life, you have to be ready to do it. And I'm not ready to do it. And so my prayer to Srila Bhāratī Maharaj and to all of you, is please bless me that I can become a more together person, that I can, at least become a practical person, because I cannot do any Vaishnav Seva until I do that. So I really am asking for your prayers. I'm so sorry that this was such a mess in terms of the phone and everything. I can't get enough signal to go on Zoom, but please forgive my offenses. Please forgive me for messing up the schedule, and please give me your blessings that one day I can do some seva, Guru Seva to my Shiksha Guru Srila Bhāratī Maharaj, to my Diksha Guru Srila Bhakti Ballabh Tirtha Maharaj, and to my Guru Maharaj Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, and all my Shiksha Gurus. So I don't know, can you guys, I guess I'm done. I'm sorry I talked for so long.
It's okay, Didi. You spoke perfectly, and you didn't mess up the schedule at all. You were just a few minutes over time. It's not a problem. I'm so pleased you managed to get through. And Manjari Didi is saying beautiful Dandavat Pranam. So it was absolutely fine. I'm so pleased you managed to get through in the dark.
It's not dark, but yeah, just can't get in. Okay. Thank you so much, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. I really appreciate it. Hari Bol.
Okay, and also, but Basanti Dasi is saying that Shamarani Didi is running late, so it's helped with the schedule, so that's okay. So all is Krishna's arrangements, so you're okay.
Okay, thank you so much. Dandavat Pranam. Is Vasanti Didi next?
Vasanti Didi is speaking next, yes.
Okay, Dandavat Vasanti Didi, big Dandavat Pranam and hugs. Hari Bol. I'm going on mute.
Dandavat Pranam Didi. And so now we go to, is it California you are still, Santi?
Yeah.
Okay, Dandavat Pranam Didi. Please,
that's you.
Welcome to you, and please offer your Pushpanjali.
Thank you. Jnanatimrandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Panchakalpachubhascha Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurati Se Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasati Shri Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I offer my heartfelt obeisances unto my beloved Holy Master Nitya Vishnu Vishnupada Sota Sot Shishimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Also, and to my Shiksha Guru Nitya Vishnu Vishnupada Sota Sot Shishimad Bhakti Vijñāna Bhakti Goswami Maharaj, whose divine Tirabhav Titi is today. And to His divine grace, Nitya Vishnu Vishnupada Sota Sot Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, and to Bhakti Dayat Madhav Goswami Maharaj, Bhakti Vedanta Goswami Maharaj, Bhakti Rakshakshira Maharaj, Bhakti Puri Goswami Maharaj, all of our guardians on this path of bhakti. So thank you, Chandrika, for arranging this again, so we can all be together and hear and share So wonderful. I'm a little bit tired because I didn't really sleep last night because I have an injured rib, but actually it was, I think Srila Mahārāja's mercy in disguise, because every time I woke up in pain, I remembered how the bag of cement fell on his chest, because he was an engineer, and as we all know, and one of his main sevas was constructing the mats for his Guru Maharaj. And when he was in his young age, a bag of cement landed on his chest, I believe, and which actually he says, he felt for the rest of his life that injury. So it was actually stimulus for today's day. One time, and I'm going to be all over the place because I'm just that's that way. But one time in 2011, when I went to Chandigarh, and there was not so many, I guess you can say followers for lack of a better word, but not so many followers yet. So, which was to my advantage because there was nobody there. And although I'm so happy that so many people came to Srila Mahārāja's lotus feet, but at that time there was nobody there. He didn't even have any guards, as he called them, no policemen around. And he would sit in the sun and he would chant and he would speak. So we sat at his lotus feet, and in that time he spoke English to us, and he just spoke and spoke and spoke and spoke in English about his seva, about different roads he had to take, different ways he had to get cement. One of his how difficult it was to get cement in those days in India. And he also shared how his Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Madhav Goswami Maharaj, instructed him to serve all, that when the opportunity for service, we don't know when this opportunity for service will come, and when it does, to take that opportunity. So when my Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivinoda Goswami Maharaj, he was building Devananda Gaudiya Math. It was just 2 rooms at the time when our Param Gurudev was there. And then our Gurudev expanded the Math and he needed cement. Then he went to Srila Bhāratī Maharaj, and Srila Maharaj has that experience and connections with, those, and he got the cement. So he said he would help every Math in every possible way. So, actually, I'm here in LA because this is where our GBP book sponsorship headquarters is, and where our warehouse of books are and art. And I came to it's actually my best friends, Krishna Mai Dasi and Shivananda Senadas, in their garage. It's their seva. And but I came for one of the main reasons was to come and to organize. We had a huge shipment and I was in India when it came. So to organize the books and art. And so last night we were on a japa walk and they were saying all kinds of things to help me. I was like, what am I going to speak about tomorrow? And Krishna Mai said, oh, are you going to tell how what people would say to you when you came to Srila Maharaj? And I actually wasn't going to, but then I just opened. I'm like, oh, let me just open Vishuddha Chaitanya Vani, which I'm sure everybody has it, but those who don't, it's a must. And I opened, and actually what I opened to, every page I'm opening to is all about love. Every single paragraph, everything I read came to love. So, and what is the opposite of love? Fear, right? So when I first came to Srila Maharaj, I came in 2011, and sort of by accident, although there's no accidents in this world, he saved my spiritual life after Srila Gurudev left. But I was going, I think I've told this story many times on different Zooms, but just in brief, that I was going with some God sisters to have darshan of Bhakti Bhakti Goswami Maharaj and Shri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math in Mayapur. And I was really sick at that time. I had a mosquito disease and I could barely walk. But we went. I've had so many amazing darshans with Bhakti Bhakti Maharaj. So we were there, and that day I had read this harmonist article that's in our the harmonist that came out, the honorary harmonist article for our Gurudev. And in that, I read Srila Maharaj's article that day, And in that article, he tells about he went to South India and Srila Maharaj told him, Gurudev told him, I want to go to Puri, but I have nowhere to stay. And so Srila Maharaj said, oh, you could stay with us. And then he got a regular ticket, which, regular class train in India is, I mean, just the train in general is so intense. What to speak of a regular class. But there was 2 rooms in that mat, his room and the brahmachari room. And then he went back early, said, oh, I have some business to do. And he went back early to move everything out of his room into the brahmachari room. So when our Gurudev came, Srila Bhaktivedanta Gosvāmī Maharaj came, he said, oh, this room is available for you. So I just read that article and I was like, wow, this is someone who really loves my Gurudev. And then that night when Bhakti went to go see Bhakti Balatirtha Maharaj, he wasn't giving darshan, he wasn't feeling well. And then I saw Srila Maharaj sitting in a chair and just so humble, just a plastic chair and just, nobody around. And I told my friend that I was with, oh, there's Srila Bharatīji Maharaj. And I just read this amazing article. And she said, let's go talk to him. So we offered our pranams. And then he just started speaking. He's considered the encyclopedia of the Gaudiya Math. And he shared so many beautiful histories. And then how Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada was attacked, and how Param Gurudev, Bhakti Bhagwan Keshav Maharaj, switched clothes with him, and he told everything. And then one of my god sisters said, oh, this is our first Navadvip Parikrama without our Gurudev. We're feeling a little lost. What should we do? And Srila Bharatīji Maharaj said, oh, you are so fortunate. Your Gurudev has built you a temple. He has given you rooms. He's arranged prasad. He's taught you how to do parikrama. And he said, but I am so unfortunate because now I'm old and my feet don't work. I cannot do parikrama. He said, but I am fortunate because all of you Vaishnavis have come to see me. And then he smiled, his little boyish smile. And it was the first time, that was 3 months after our Gurudev had left. And it was the first time that I felt like I had a heart smile, that real from the soul smiling. So after that, I then was taking, trying to associate with him as much as possible, went to Chandigarh, went to Pune, and people asked me actually, oh, are you still going to work on your Gurudev's books? It's like, why would I not? Like, I mean, it just didn't even cross my thought. And, he has a different mood. What else? Not the same mood as Gurudev. So many things were said. And actually today, just reading, which I'm going to share from Shuddha Chaitanya Vani, it just shows how much fear is there, just the lack of love with faith in the process. Because, why the role of Shiksha Guru is to bring you closer to your Diksha Guru. And so when I was with Srila Maharaj, when I was around, every time I was in his presence, I think I'm not serving my Guru enough. So that is real Shiksha Guru, to have that, to instill that feeling. So I wanted to share some things from Shuddha Chaitanya Vani. But before I do that, I just wanted to share one more kind of personal thing that I kind of actually forgot about until today, because I'm here in LA, like I said, and I'm at my best friend's home. And this is where I was when Srila Maharaj started his, his quick, like so quick, Sikh Leela, and not Sikh Leela, but his leaving Leela, it was like within 4 days. So I think most of you know that that we have this prison program. So I was here, Sharmani was in Florida, as she is now as well. And I came to LA. There's a prison near here. It's like hardcore prison. All the gangsters of LA are. And we were there for this program. And that morning, I saw Madhukar Prabhu had posted on Facebook, if you want darshan of Srila Bharatīji Maharaj, come now. And I remember I was kind of like panicking, freaking out. And Shivananda Prabhu said, and I was like, what should we do? He's like, let's do the prison program. We'll do our seva, and then you can figure everything else out. And I'm so, and that's exactly what Maharaj would want. Do your seva. He stressed seva and sadhu sangha are like the main thing. But seva was so important, and especially serving. He would always say that serving the object of your seva. What do they want? So we're all in a prison, and then we had this opportunity to go to the prison within the prison, behind these locked bars, and it was one of the most potent programs I have ever been in. And I just knew everything, would work out, and it was stressful. I didn't have my I said Charmani, let's fly separately, let's meet in India, but I didn't have my passport on me. She had it, and all kinds of different things. But after that prison program, everything just worked out. We met in Florida, we flew, we were going to fly to Delhi, but then we got to Dubai, and then we got the news that Mahārāja had entered Śrīla, and we were just crying and crying and crying. And I went to the Emirates desk and I said, my grandfather just left his body, which I'm so white. I don't know, the lady believed me though. I was just crying and crying, and said we have to go to Calcutta now. And they changed our ticket with no fee. And Maharaj waited for us. We got there, and Madhusudana Maharaj and Damaraj, so sweet, just pulled us in and like clear the way for Shamrani to come up and to just offer to bathe him and offer flower. I mean, the whole, as we all know, those who were there at that ceremony, the kirtan and the rain and everything was just so mystical. And he waited. I felt like he waited because it was so divine. So Śrīla Mahārāja has left, Bhakti Madhava Gosvāmī Maharaj is, I don't want to say established, I don't know what, his conception, because, we have Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math as the institution, but his conception was Chaitanya Vani. And his, in this editorial of Shuddha Chaitanya Vani, I'm just going to read a few passages. He starts off by saying, Sri Chaitanya Vani has most mercifully manifested today. First and foremost, I offer my heartfelt pranams to this most auspicious appearance day of Sri Chaitanya Vani. And he explains that Sri Chaitanya Dev appeared in this world as the most auspicious embodiment of the nectarian mellow of Sri Krishna Chandra's benevolent pastimes, Odorya Leela. Anguished by the miseries of Kali Yuga, he bestowed the incomparable, unprecedented, and transcendental gift of the mellow of love for Bhagavan to the souls of this world. He goes on to say that how Mahaprabhu, how Krishna and his name are non-different, Lord Chaitanya and his name are non-different, and that the Vani of Sri Chaitanya Dev is extremely benevolent. This divine Chaitanya Vani is manifested in each and every home of the residents of this world in different languages and in a form easily comprehensible by one and all, thus resulting in the incomparable advent of the spiritual welfare of the entire world. So he says, Sri Chaitanya Vani is the word of love. Only love can establish true happiness and unity between individuals and between communities. I can say with the utmost confidence that besides love, there exists no worldly policy, whether economic, societal, national, or religious, that can succeed in establishing peace among the members of a particular family, community, or country, what to speak of the whole world. Therefore, on this very auspicious day, I earnestly pray unto the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Vani, so that it may sprinkle its mercy throughout the whole world. O Sri Chaitanya Vani, mercifully engage me and all the people of this world in your service, and thereby reveal your unparalleled mercy for everyone. So that's Srila Bhakti Madhava Gosvāmī Maharaj, and Srila Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Madhava Gosvāmī Maharaj, he then established Vishuddha Chaitanya Vani, this most pure form, pure Chaitanyavani, and he spoke so often about the language of love. He would so often talk about the different animals. I remember when we were in Pune, we complained a little bit that we couldn't understand Hindi and there was nobody translating. And he told the story of the angry cow. And there was this angry cow, and he would always just, butt everybody. And he just was always, being really, really rambunctious. But there was one brahmachari who cared so nicely for him and would talk to him and stroke him and feed him. And only that brahmachari could converse with him, and because he knew the language of love. So similarly in Chaitanyavani, Śrīla Mahārāja gives so many beautiful examples of different animals, about that, how this one cow knew all languages, Tamil, Hindi, Bengali, so many other, because she would obey the language by her master, by the different devotees who spoke with so lovingly to her. So there's one Maharaj tells a story of the she parrot and the sannyasi. A sannyasi from Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math once went to beg alms at someone's home, and that home was a she parrot. And as soon as the sannyasi reached the doorstep, the she parrot would chirp loudly and swoop down close to his head. The sannyasi was unable to even take a single step into the home. Although he tried many times to tell the she parrot in Bengali that he was a friend of her master, she paid no attention to his statement. When the bird's owner saw this, he told her in Bengali from a distance, "What are you doing? Do you not know he is a friend and not a foe?" He repeated the words, "Friend, friend, friend." Listening to her master, the she parrot completely changed her tone and began chirping the words, "Welcome, welcome, please come inside." So there's so many beautiful pastimes here. And the point being in that Maharaj is, so often making that the Lord knows the language of love. This is the, that, not to undermine that, we have our mantras. Every offering has a mantra, and we, we offer Akshman, Kling Krishna, Radha Krishna. There's these, mantras. At the same time, we know those mantras in English, and we could say all the Sanskrit versions in the world. We can know the whole Bhagavad Gita by heart, and but if it's really the love that our gurus and our Vaishnavas and the Lord is craving. Our guru once said, don't just offer the mango. It's what is the intention and the love behind that offering? So in Śrīla Mahārāja's article, in the introduction to the next page after the editorial by Bhakti Mahārāja is the introduction of Vishuddha Chaitanyavani. And Śrīla Mahārāja, I forgot the point. Sorry, I forgot the. He says, Vishuddha Chaitanyavani is the fully blossomed form of Amnayavani, or transcendental teachings received through the supremely pure Guru Parampara via the medium of Kirtan. Through the process of hearing, it eventually seats itself in the heart of the Sat Shishya, worthy disciple. And he shares all the associates of Mahaprabhu, and then all of our acharyas, all of our Guru Varga are the embodiment of the teachings and conduct of not only Mahaprabhu, but of his associates as well. And so coming back to the point of why this, stuck out so much for me, especially today, and how this came, because I did not know what, I was like asking Maharaj, what should I, just to tell the same, meeting pastime with him, or, I wanted something, just praying to him for some guidance, and this answer of love that every charya comes for a different reason. Our Śrīla Gurudev, Śrīla Bhakti Narayan Maharaj, anyone who was around him or seen videos or he's heard about him, he's so going and social, and not obviously not on a mundane level, but very funny and very fun, and he would play jokes, and one time we were in Mexico with him, and Shripad Sajjan Maharaj had his notes, and Shripad Maharaj pulled him away, and then Sajjan and gave him to Gurudev, and then Sajjan Maharaj was like kind of freaking out. Was he going to speak? He didn't have his notes, and Sripad Maharaj and Gurudev were just laughing, and it was it's all a play, and so every and Srila Swami Prabhupada, very had to come and very, he had so many jungles to cut, just teaching, just introducing this whole philosophy to all of us. So much, cutting, and I'm so happy that all those people at the beginning told me, you're going to lose your mood, this Gurudev's mood, and then saw, oh, Shamariti is there. Oh, Madhapriya Prabhu is there. Oh, Sripad Siddhanta, just seeing who's going, oh, maybe I should go here too. And then, Sripad Bhagavatam, that, and then by 2 years later, I walked into the Mayapur temple for Gaur Pranim. I was like, whoa, there's nowhere for me to sit. There's like 300 people here. So I'm very, very happy that, that we have to just, it's not about the external personality or it's the here, like Maharaj, is the Vani, and the language of love, and what they're come to give to bring us higher and higher in our bhakti. And our beloved masters, another must read if anyone doesn't have one. We have some here in LA, we have them in India, that this showing that real, this love, loving seva. It's, I know there are many people who can chant purely and chant 60 rounds purely, and but how many of us can really do that? But this loving seva will bring us to that. So Srila Maharaj has given the goal. He's shared so often, and my beloved masters, how he served, and not even to glorify himself, but what others said. Who's the singer, the really amazing singer, Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, when he was in the hospital, Srila Maharaj took care of him, but he had to go away, and he would call someone else to take care of him. And when he came back, Srila Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj told Srila Maharaj, I'm comfortable with other people caring for me. I only want you. And that just speaks volumes, because he was, what a saintly personality. And similarly, when Bhakti Vivek Bharati Maharaj, another disciple of Saraswati Thakur, when he was sick, there was nobody there to take care of him. And Srila Maharaj saw, and he went. He immediately went to him and took care. So he served all of the disciples so intimately, all the disciples of Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada so intimately, and has left this for us to obviously we can't, to follow in his footsteps of taking an inkling, we can just do an ounce of what he has done. And speaking of, and I'll just end here, although Shamariti is running late, I was told. So again, our Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivinoda Maharaj should say that everyone, even, everyone will go to where they're feeling loved. The dog will go to where they're, being pet and not, getting a shoe thrown at them or yelled at. And so I think it's very appropriate. I don't know if I didn't get to hear very many people speak because all the activity, all the seva I had going on here. But I think it's appropriate to remember, and I have the Srila Maharaj's final pastimes actually at, I don't know what age was he, at 87 or 86 years old, of actually exiting, I guess you could say, for my vocabulary is not so great, but of leaving, or of giving us the example that of going where you're loved. And so he exited Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, only the building. His heart would never leave. And he left a letter. There were so many things that the Mat Vasis did not want him to do, and they were supposed to have a meeting, and then they didn't. And so Śrīla Maharaj, I actually was there in Mayapur, and I remember one evening, me and Jamuna, Maharaj's disciple, walked into the Mat, and I just felt this really eerie feeling. I was like, Jamuna, something feels weird here. And all the doors were locked. Maharaj's room was locked, and his assistant's room was locked. And then I got a phone call a few hours later from one of Maharaj's sevaks, and he said, we're in Delhi. I was like, Delhi? How'd you get to Delhi so fast? Anyways, then we left, and we also left and followed Maharaj to Delhi. When we got to Delhi, our flight was a little late, and getting our luggage was late, and I had like 10 missed calls from one of Maharaj's sevaks. And he said, where are you? Maharaj was waiting to give Harikatha until you got here. And it was already like 10 o'clock at night. And I was just like, again, that why would he wait for us? I mean, I can understand why he would wait for Shamranditi, but still, he has a schedule, and it was just so beautiful. And we still went there to his house to offer pranams. And with our, it was already like 10 o'clock at night, and Mahārāja Prabhu let us go into his room, and we offered our obeisances. And he said, with a big smile, he said, I have left my mat. And we said, we know, Maharaj, that's why we're here. We came to be with you. And he said, I only want to speak Harikatha until my last breath. I can live anywhere. When I was young, I lived under it with a tin shed. So in this beautiful letter that he left for them, he says, where is it? I just want to go to the bottom. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I have it in my email if anybody wants to see it. And again, I feel like he's doing this. Okay, I'll read. He says, contemplating that it's not worth speaking to people who have belonging to the governing body, to people who are unworthy of having any dialogue with me. There's a gulf of difference between what they say and what they actually do. Where is the need for me to even worry for whatever reaction they may put forth? This is completely useless to hope for anything from such persons who are completely devoid of any affection towards me, are lacking even the slightest goodwill, and engaged in inhuman behavior towards me at more than one occasion. And he says, we have always heard from Guru Maharaj Ji that clay, the land or building alone does not constitute the mat, but the principle alone is our mat. When I had come to the mat at that time, even though many other Gaudiya mats were much more affluent relatively, however, I was attracted to the ideal character of Guru Maharaj and took shelter under his lotus feet. From a worldly point of view, he had no possessions at that time. I had even spent a lot of time living below a tin shed in Mayapur. Now I wish to go from this world following the same ideal principles as demonstrated by Guru Maharaj Ji, and wish not to stay in your association compromising with such ideals. So again, everything that Śrīla Maharaj did was out of love. Actually, even this letter to them was out of love, for them to see again, he's the ideal example, and there's so much teachings, and that everything is controlled by the Lord. Everything that happens is controlled by the Lord. So him externally moving out and spending his last 3 years not in the building of it, Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, again, it was a lesson for all of us, not just for these people who he's writing to. So, and that I'll just read the last paragraph of this letter. He says, in the end, remembering the following words of Srila Prabhupada, I'm closing this letter of mine. Even if not a single person stays with me, even if all the people of this world, what to speak of others, even those who have come into my association and are exhibiting faith in me, leave me one by one, still standing under the shelter of the lotus feet of my Gurudev, I will not stop myself turning backwards from engaging fearlessly in the kirtan of the true, uncontaminated, real message till the last moment of my stay in this world. If someday the real, true message will enter the ears of some fortunate soul, bestowed with the fortune of past pious activities, and through such one person alone, the whole world will receive the topmost benefit. The end of his letter there. And so it's just so, his gravity and his depth, every word he chose was just so, just like an arrow into the heart, and so much compassion and so much love that he gave to anyone who came to him. I remember we were begging him in like 2014 or 15, please initiate. And there's all these devotees that are desiring. And he said, and he told us directly, I only want to be a friend to all. Anyone who comes to me for bhakti, I will help them. If they don't want bhakti, I have no interest. So he did that until his last breath. He was in the hospital and he said, I am only seeing Yamadutas here. Take me to the mat. I want to be with all of the devotees there. I want to be with the Vishnu Dutas. And I know from so many that were there, it was nonstop kirtan and beautiful bhajans and everything, every action just has a purpose. I know there was, in the mats, especially in India, the females don't sing so much. They're especially, the traditional mat. I remember being in Chandigarh and except for like on Ekadasi or special days, it's just the brahmacharis who sing. And but yeah, I was in Pune in the house with Mahārāja. We got to stay in the same apartment. Well, I was in an apartment upstairs, and we were doing bhajans one morning. He was in his room, and I was with Sripad Nimi Maharaj and a few devotees. And I led Radha Krishna Pran. When it was my turn to sing, we go through the Kram, Guru, Vaishnav, and when it was my turn to sing, I said, it was Radha, we're up to Radha and Krishna, and I sang Radha Krishna Pranamore, and I sang the morning tune. Radha Krishna Pranamora, Yugala Kishora. Maybe that afternoon we got to go on afternoon walks with Mahārāja. And can you see if any of this is Radhika? Thanks. We got to go on his afternoon walks, which was super exciting because I felt like with our Gurudev, only the women walked with him, and he did it as an etiquette thing. So I felt that now I got the opportunity to walk with our Gurudev. And so then one morning we were on an afternoon walk, and he turned to I think Bhakti Kinkar Damodar Raj was there, and he said, her tune was very nice this morning.
Does Didi need to be live streamed from Facebook too?
No, they're doing it.
They're doing it.
And it was just so like, because then I heard other girls would complain like, oh, we didn't get to sing for him, or we didn't, in the program. But again, not a blade of grass moves without the will of the Lord. So every, it was just a really sweet for me, but also showing that how broad-minded Mahārāja also was.
How many more minutes?
So Shamrani just called, or actually Radhika Manchanda is there with her, and I don't know, Chandrika, what
10 more minutes, she's digesting.
Okay, so Shamrani needs 10 more minutes. I don't know if you want me to go on, or if there's anyone else here that wants to say anything. Or
is there anybody there with you that would like to speak about Śrīla Mahārāja?
Shiva?
She's asking.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so Shivananda Prabhu is here.
Right.
Yeah, so thank you, Chandrika, for giving me the opportunity to purify my own heart on this most auspicious day of our beloved Śrīla Mahārāja, and just praying for his divine mercy. And I'm gonna.
Did you put the timer on the clock so I can be able to see?
Yeah, because Didi's gonna come on in 10 minutes. So this is Shivananda. I'll just quickly. This is Shivananda Senadas, and he's been a devotee since he met devotees as a young boy, but he fully committed his life in 77, right when Srila Prabhupada left this world. So he's one of our senior brothers, and He actually brought me to the movement. So
Jai.
I'm indebted to him, and he'll speak for a few minutes before Didi. And he also they came, well, he'll share. He met Śrīla Mahārāja also in 2011.
They're singing, or is it voice? Can somebody help me? Hare Krishna. Who is the mata that's
This is Chandrika. She's Mahārāja said one England. She's the host.
Hare Krishna. Dhanavat pranam, Chandrika Didi. And to all, Namo Vishnu Varaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayani Namane Shri Krishna Lila Katane Sadaksam Adoraya Madhuraya Gunaischa Yuktam Brahm Brahm Pusham Matam Narayanam Tvam Satatam Bhavade Jaraninam Bhakti Shramincha Shri Krishna Padabdi Duraika Hidi Chaitanya Lila Amrita Sarasuram Narayanam Tvam Satatam Bhavade Namo Vishnu Varaya Krishna Pastai Budrule Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravan Pachana Nivishesha Ocean Vadi Pascha Tatasana Shri Bhakti No Thakur Ki Jai Shri Bhakti Saraswati Thakur Shri Guru Bhagavad His worshipful Vaishnavacharya Shri Srimad Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai
Jai.
Nandakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai
Jai.
Bhagavad Srimati Shamran Didi Ki Jai Shri Padma Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Thanks for this opportunity, just how it worked. I was actually standing by in the wings listening to Vasanti Dasi and with Krishnamaya, as we're trying to render some service to her through service to Shramarani through the agency of Vasanti. And on this very special day, of course, we have our Shiksha Guru, Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Mahārāja on our main Guru altar at the top, along with Śrīla Prabhupada and our Diksha Guru, Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Gosvāmī Mahārāja. And I was actually fortunate to be able to see Śrīla Bhakti Mahārāja several times on the dais with our beloved Holy Master Śrīla Narayana Maharaj when we were on Parakram. Especially, I remember specifically one time in when we were doing Navadvip bound Parakram, and he was there near Yoga Pit at the mat that we stopped before Yoga Pit. And I remember we were having an ecstatic kirtan, we're jumping up and down. This had been about the fourth day or fifth day of third or fourth day of Parakram, and we were finally going to Yoga Pit. And our Gurudev came in. I remember he came in the car, and he went into the mat before the kirtan went in, and then he was on the dais there Śrīla Bhakti Maharaj was right next to him. And somehow the kirtan was so ecstatic again. And Vijay and the kirtaniers were somewhat behind, and I was there with some beautiful sannyas. We were chanting, and then we ran in the temple and we did flying dandavats. For some reason, you know how it is when you're on Parakram, you're a little bit, and over enthusiastic and crazy. And we did these little flying dandavats. And I remember the checkered floor was like kind of a greenish white checkered floor. And we were flying through the air, and we dandavats right up and slid on the slippery floor from all the devotees sweat and everything from the kirtan. And then Śrīla Gurudev looks over at Śrīla Mahārāja. I don't know what he says. And they were looking at me, they both started cracking up. They just started laughing and laughing. I mean, they were like shoulder shrugging. And then later on in the evening, we got back to Gurudev's room, Gurudev's house, his quarters, where I was staying there with him. And Gurudev, he said, "Oh, Prabhu, your dandavats," he said, "we're quite," and then he just kind of like chuckled again. He said, "Your dandavats," and then he like that. And I remember the person that he had moved over to, they leaned in such a way that their heads touched. And I saw this, and I go, "Oh, wow. Who is this personality who is so close to my Śrīla Gurudev?" that literally when they're talking, the top of their heads are actually touching, and they're laughing and joking. And that was really my first impression of actually seeing Śrīla Mahārāja, not knowing exactly who he was, but knowing that he somehow was very close to my Gurudev. And that left a very lasting impression upon me. And then, of course, we had heard about 2 or 3 weeks after our Gurudev had entered into Nitya Leela. We had come back to Los Angeles, and there was this one devotee that was there at the time of Gurudev's actual departure. And he said about maybe 2 or 3 hours or so before that, the last words that Srila Gurudev had said was, because on morning walks and many times for many, many years, actually, many of us disciples and Shiksha disciples and Diksha disciples, where the question would always rise, who is next? Who is next? Especially it started arising really quickly after about 2007. There was a particular time, I think it was around 2007, where Gurudev had experienced some seemingly some difficulty, and he had missed a festival in Hawaii. And this was kind of like the wake-up call that, oh yes, as much as we would love Gurudev to be here eternally, we realize that it is part of the Leela of these Nitya Siddhas to come and to give is what they are sent here to give, and then to leave. So we realized that was going to be happening at some point in the future. And then there would begin to be many, many questions. Who next? Who next, Gurudev? Who next? As if Gurudev was going to somehow or another, let the drama not unfold, that we would not, the idea of the adhikar that we needed to be able to understand through the teachings of our Gurudev, through what is a Vaishnava, what is a pure devotee, what is a guru, what is Sadguru, what is all of these teachings, what types of devotees are present. He had been lecturing on these things for years and years. So he's not just going to go and tell us, obviously. It's something that the fruit of his activity, the fruit of his kata must manifest in our heart if we're truly hearing. And if that fruit manifests, then we will know. And so he would always say, now he would never answer the question. And then he got closer and closer. He said, oh, it would be self-evident. Oh, that person will be self-effulgent. He used words like self-evident, self-effulgent, like this. He never really said, he never pointed. But then we had heard from this one devotee who was there that Gurudev had said, finally, he said, just a few hours before, he said, oh, you may hear from Srila Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja. Said, we have been friends for over 50 years, and he has my same mood. We have the same mood, and we have been friends for over 50 years. And those words came out 2 or 3 weeks later when a particular devotee had come and visits LA. We were in separation here in LA when that happened. We had gone earlier for our Gurudev, and there was some Leela trick being played, and we got there a month early. We had to come back, and then our Gurudev's pastime took place elsewhere at a different time. But when he said that, he said, oh, you may hear from Srila Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Mahārāja. We have been friends for this period, 50 years, over 50 years, and he has my same mood. And so that was the clincher for me. And then by the grace of Vasanti, she took us across the across the Ganga, and we were able to have the first darshan in his room. Was it in his room? And from there on, we kept trying to broadcast that message and our experience with him to everyone we possibly could when we in LA, and every person, all the festivals and everywhere we go. That's what we would try to get over to, say, this is an experience we've had. We met this incredible pure Vaishnava, wonderful Uttam, and wow, you could meet him too. And all you have to do is talk to the Sati and Shamrani Didi, and it can all kind of work out. And so Srila Mahārāja very kind, very compassionate and loving towards us. And we were able to have some other darshans with him in Calcutta. And then also he actually called us, or we called him, and he was able to give us his time. And he talked one thing, and just as the lily and the moon and the sun and the lotus, although physically they are far apart, actually they have a good relation. He would use the term good. They have a good loving relation. So he would say distance and time is no obstacle to those, as Vasani was mentioning. What is that communication? What is that thing that draws that and keeps us together in service to Mahaprabhu's mission? And that is love. So he was an embodiment of that type of love. And you can see in his books, he emphasized seva. If you read My Beloved Masters, all these books, he's talking about the seva that is performed. And of course, we know that when you're talking about the external seva of these great Vaishnavas, there's also an internal direct seva that is taking place simultaneously. So pray for the day. And on this very special day, I actually wasn't prepared to speak. I wasn't expecting to speak. We just wanted to support Vasanti, but somehow or another, it has happened. So I thank you very much for this opportunity. Dhanavad pranams to each and every one of you. Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shivananda, for saying Prabhu. That's very nice to hear from you. A nice surprise arranged by Śrīla Mahārāja and Krishna. Santi, is there word from Shamrani, or?
Yeah, I think she's on because I see there's two Vasantis on here.
Okay.
The bottom right, Vasanti is.
It's 2 Vasantis. That's amazing.
Sometimes I wish I could manifest my form.
You did it, Sweezo.
So, Shamrani, Radhika, Shamrani, you guys there?
Shamrani Didi, are you there?
Where's my phone?
Right.
Let's call them. Oh, wait.
Which class was that? Because there was one class that they recorded, but Santi
What?
didn't mention.
Your turn. Why is she?
Shall I sing some kirtan a little bit, or? Yeah. Is there anybody else that would like to sing some kirtan, or should I just sing some Maha Mantra? Anybody else like to sing? Turuni Dasi, would you like to sing?
I can sing for you. Because it's here.
You sing so sweetly.
Hare Krishna.
Ah,
Are they there now?
Nam Shamrani Didi. Hare Krishna.
Okay. I've been here, sitting here, but I didn't know how to connect us with video and sound.
Oh, okay.
I need my techie whizzes with me and they weren't here. Okay, here we go. Again, can you hear me now well?
Yes, Didi, thank you.
Agyanam timirandasya Jnananjana salakaya Chaksurun militam yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. First, I offer my unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Gurudev, Nichalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Astotra Sat Shri Srimad, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, and the same unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Shiksha Gurudev, Nichalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Astotra Sat Shri Srimad, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosvāmī Mahārāja, and Srila Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, especially on this most holy disappearance day. So I'm going to just relate one story that has various aspects. In 2015, I had just come to Vrindavan, and I was in Gopinath Bhavan. And a few of the devotees were telling me that Srila Bhāratī Mahārāja had just given some classes during Ratha Yatra in July, where he spoke differently from Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada on the fixed relationship between the Jiva and Krishna. They were saying that unlike Gurudev and Prabhupada and whatever we had learned, he was saying that the relationship is not fixed, which would have been close in family to the Radhakund Babaji's, that the relationship or ras is not fixed, but you get your type of relationship according to the type of association that you have. A couple of them were quite disturbed, and a couple of them said, well, it really doesn't matter. They agree on most points. But I was very unhappy with that, because I had learned from so many quotes from Srila Prabhupada that the message of all the acharyas for millions of years, and then from thousands of years, from the time of Vyasadeva, there's no difference from millions of years to present day. Like Srila Prabhupada said back in 1968, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed his disciples to write books on the science of Krishna consciousness, a task which those who follow him have continued to carry down to the present day. The elaboration and exposition on the philosophy taught by Lord Chaitanya are in fact the most voluminous, exacting, and consistent due to the unbreakable chain of disciplic succession. So my mood was, if it's different, then I can't have my faith in him, even though some people say, well, it's just a small difference. I said, but if I can't have my faith in him, then my life is lost. So then I was going soon to Chandigarh, where he was. And so I was determined to get to the bottom of this, because my life depended on it. So when I went in his room to offer obeisances, to let him know that I was here, remembering that the guru, the pure Vaishnava, doesn't have to be physically present for you to have a conversation with him, or for you to pray to him and to have him hear you, because he's in every atom. So thinking like that, after I stood up from offering my obeisances, I mentally said to him, I didn't say out loud, remembering that it doesn't have to be a physical out loud thing. I said, please help me get to the bottom of this. Please, please make it clear what's really going on and show me the truth. Then I asked a couple of his servants, and they said, yes, there was some difference. I said, what's the proof? And one of them said, well, we have a tape recording. So I listened to the tape recording, and half of it was in Hindi, but half the translation looked like he was in accord with everything, and the other half looked like he wasn't. I said, I don't accept this. Something's wrong here. So then I asked Madhava to inquire further, and then I got some relief. Then in December, because I was there in December, November, December, he gave a class saying, where is that? Saying that some questions have been posed because a lot of people were confused, including some devotees who were in Chandigarh. I'm just trying to find where that is so that I can say all the words perfectly. Can you still hear me? Can you still hear me, Chandrika?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So he said you're a poor beggar, but you're asking, what is the price of the ship? Scriptures can't be understood by you as long as you are, as long as you're not saying the scriptures neutrally. If you have some material conceptions in you, you'll never understand the scriptures. So unfortunately, I can't find that particular place. All the quotes of Śrīla Mahārāja that I have on the topic are 1416. Let me check that. Are in this book, Swarup of the Jiva. Okay, let's see. Yes. No, that's not it. Well, it is correct to say. Well, I'll quote some other things. So at different times, how will you know? At different times, he was asked this question. And so then what I did was, because I wanted to get to the bottom of it, because I was also writing an article and I wanted to prove that he and Gurudev are the same. So I asked one of the brahmacharis there to transcribe Śrīla Mahārāja's Hindi, because all I could understand was the English. And so we typed the Hindi, and then I had another devotee translate it from the Hindi. And so at that time, I was completely relieved to see that every single word that he said was exactly the same as Srila Gurudev's and Srila Prabhupada's. So it may take me a while to find that one in December, where he finally brought up the fact that so many people are confused about this subject, which is very difficult to understand if you're trying to understand it with your intelligence. But if you're getting it from the pure devotee and you surrender to him, then you can understand. So now this same Jagannath Puri darshan, this is from his Hindi and then transcribed. While it is correct to say that, because devotees were asking him day after day, but it sounds like this, but why are you saying that? But this doesn't match. Isn't the seed already there? Didn't Krishna already create it? So he said, while it is correct to say that Sri Gurudev gives the seed of bhakti, the true purport of this statement is that the seed, and bhakti means bhakti in what kind of relationship? A particular kind of relationship. So the true purport of this statement is that the seed is already present, but it has been kept in a place where it can never grow. In other words, devoid of sadhu sangha, for millions of births. For example, if we keep a bag of seeds in a cupboard, can we expect that the seeds will grow? Certainly not. But if someone reminds us about the seeds, that is Guru, and provides them with sunlight and water, the seeds, then they will eventually turn into enormous trees and fruits, according to the seed. Similarly, Sri Guru reminds us that we have a wonderful seed of Krishna Bhakti in our hearts, and he teaches us how to nourish it by engaging our body in seva. He instructs us to hear Harikatha with our ears, to clean the Lord's temple with our hands, to speak the Lord's glories with our tongue, and so on. By properly and sincerely following the process given by Sri Guru, the seed of bhakti will sprout. So Guru gives the atmosphere. He provides the proper soil. He provides the, as Mahārāja said, the rain and the sun. So that original seed that was given in our souls at the time of creation, that will sprout. Because of our karma, we are stuck in this material world. Therefore, we need to do sadhana under guidance in order to be released from here. By doing sadhana, we can go towards our goal. We can achieve our goal in the association of devotees. So if we associate with devotees in dasya ras, we will inquire their mood. So here it sounds like he's saying that, you know, it can change by association. But let's hear as he continues. If in Sakyras, we will acquire their mood. If we associate with devotees in Vatsalya mood, we acquire their mood. So whatever ras we are attracted to, our constitutional nature, we should associate with that type of devotee, because only then will our ras develop to its complete perfection. But how do we know? Until we meet that devotee, then we find out. So we should associate with a sajati of devotee, means a devotee who's an ocean of the mood, which is in my own constitution. Then in December, when I was there, Vasanti was there, and we were asking so many questions through, by the grace of Madhavapriya Prabhu and ourselves. So this question was asked by, let's see. I think this was asked by Chinese Radhika. We have an original relationship with Krishna, meaning our original swarup. Is it already there, or is it given by Guru? So Śrīla Mahārāja said, no, meaning the beginning of your creation. Guru only clears. He helps to manifest the sambandha. Radhika, when you're looking for it from the contents in the back, no, that's one of them. It's okay. So he said, no, it is there from the beginning of your life, your creation. Guru only clears, helps to manifest the sambandha. Without the grace of Krishna, meaning if we don't have an original swarup or relationship with him in seed, we cannot live. We become dead. Your swarup was in a dormant state, and it was opened by Guru, opened by Vaishnava. So it became very clear. He said, sometimes if you honestly serve, then it will be automatically opened. As in the case of the maidservant of Srivas Pandit. She never took any mantra from anybody, but she served the devotees. And so she became self-realized and ecstatic. Another example is given of the dog. This is really interesting. The dog of Shivananda Sen, who was also able to go to Vaikuntha in the association of Mahaprabhu. He chanted, the dog prayed for grace from Guru and Vaishnava. When you are sincere, your every step is progressive towards the Lord. So then the next question. So Maharaj, the Swarup is already there. It's already made up, but Krishna or Guru opens it. Then before it was in a dormant state, then it opens. And then the devotee asked, no, this wasn't Radhika from China. She asked a different question, which we'll discuss. He said, no, he interrupts her in the middle of her sentence because she says, well, some people say, and they are devotees of the Lord. And then he stopped her. He said, no, do not listen to many people. Then you are puzzled. So that's one conversation. One took place in December when I was there. The second one, and the first was that confusing one, not because of what he said, but because it was how it was interpreted. Then this date is also July 24th, which was confused. Whatever power Krishna has given the soul at the time of the soul's coming into existence, and of course, we no need to mention that, as our Srila Gurudev mentioned so many times, that language is defective. Even if a great personality, like Srila Mahārāja, like Srila Jiva Gosvāmī, like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, like Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, even if he speaks, because it's coming in a mundane language, and we on top of that have mundane mind, intelligence, and senses, there's going to be some fault in getting what the original message. So therefore in Jaiva Dharma, it says the same thing, that there's defect in material language. So when we hear that the soul was created, it was never created. But because we have to speak, then something has to come out. So Krishna gave the soul the power, whatever power Krishna gave the soul, when the soul came into existence, that is the soul's real swarup. Shastra relates the history of Hridaya Chaitanya, because many people use this as an example that the swarup changes by association. So here Srila Mahārāja is using it differently. Shastra relates the history of Chaitanya, Hridaya Chaitanya, and his disciple Shyamananda Prabhu. Hridaya Chaitanya was in Sakiras, and his disciples Shyamananda Prabhu was in Madhuryaras. Was Hridaya Chaitanya sad? No. If a disciple excels his guru, will guru be unhappy? No, he will not. And therefore, Hridaya Chaitanya personally sent him, because he was a realized soul, but his guru was Subal Saka. So Hridaya Chaitanya was also realized in Sakiras. So realizing that his disciple was in Madhuryaras, he intentionally sent him to Srila Jiva Gosvāmī for further instructions. And that's when, of course, he got the instruction from Srila Jiva Gosvāmī that you sweep the courtyard of Radharani, and whatever you find, only give it back to the original owner. So then he said, Murari Gupta, on the other hand, he came in contact with Mahaprabhu and his devotees who were worshiping Krishna in Madhurya Ras. And he was instructed by Mahaprabhu to switch over from Ram and worship Krishna in Madhurya Ras. But Murari Gupta was unable to do that. Talk about not having this original swarup changed by association. He was in association not only with someone in Madhurya Ras, but Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, who's Radharani's mood herself. So he couldn't change because he was already realized in his swarup as a devotee of Lord Ram, that is Hanuman. So he was given the power by the Lord only up to this, Ram. And that's why he was unable to accept. So Krishna gives the power for a particular relationship, and one cannot go below that, or what to speak of above it. So unlike Murari Gupta, who already realized his swarup, and thus couldn't be swayed even by Mahaprabhu, there are devotees who externally seem to be fixed in a certain ras, and who are inclined towards a particular ras and a particular worshipful deity only because of their present association and family tradition. Such devotees can be properly directed to their real ras when they get the appropriate association. And he gave the example of Venkat Bhatt, the father of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami himself, and his uncle, Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, who is eternally Tungavidya, and Gopal Bhatta is eternally Gunamanjari. But they were playing the role of a family that were in the Sri Sampradaya, worshiping Lakshmi Narayan by family tradition. They wanted to show that by appropriate association, one comes to one's reality. So by meeting Mahaprabhu, they began worshiping Radha and Krishna. When one comes into appropriate higher association, then one realizes his own swarup. Now I've come to that December 15th lecture. Okay, he said many questions come because I made sure that he was bombarded with questions at that time, November, December. There is one question that comes again and again because we are not qualified and we're not able to comprehend or understand. Confusion arises. Sometimes we hear and someone is inclined to Dasya Ras and he comes to Madhurya Ras, as in the life of Gopal Bhatta Goswami and his family. And sometimes we hear that the swarup does not transform, as in the life of Murari Gupta. Why do these truths sound different? It's because we don't take darshan of the scriptures from a neutral point of view. Sometimes even by listening to the explanation, we cannot digest the contents. I remember so many times he said in Hindi, mushkil hai, so difficult. So Bhagavan has 5 rasas within him. This is particularly seen in Sri Krishna. Ram, Nrsimha, Varaha, they don't have all these rasas. So if Bhagavan, such amazing logic he's giving now. If Bhagavan is eternal and his servant is eternal, because we're all eternal, then the servant's service is also eternal. If the service is not eternal, how can the servant be eternal? Therefore, all 3 are eternal. It is natural that because Krishna is the reservoir of all rasas, he has invested different jivas with different tastes. And because our acharyas always quote from Shastra, this is particularly stated by Śrīla Sanatana Goswami in Brihad Bhagavatamrita. And Sanatana Goswami, all of the Goswami's books yield from Sanatana Goswami and Brihad Bhagavatamrita. So there he says that it's inconceivable No one can understand why and how Krishna gives different tastes to different jivas to expand the joy of his unlimited pastimes. Like, why did he make somebody a cow? Because the cows allow Krishna to leave his home so that he could go cow grazing and meet the gopis there, for example. So somebody had to be a cow. Of course, they're not ordinary cows. So he invested different jivas with different tastes, and by nature, the jivas are attracted to their own ras and nothing else. By nature, but we're not in our nature now. Now we're covered by false designations. Depending on the ras of the devotee will engage in that service only, and the Lord also has a taste only for that service from that particular devotee. So Bhagavan is eternal, his servant is eternal, and the servant's service is eternal. And the devotee will pursue that eternal service at a certain point when we get good association and it becomes clear to us. Not clear by realization, but just clear intellectually. At that point, the sincere devotee pursues that. So he'll only pursue that ras, and then that ras will be realized and relished by him, and Bhagavan also desires to relish the devotee's ras with him, because he wants to taste all rasas, because he's rasavaisaha. So now he gets into, I love when he chastises. One time I asked him a question, because usually he never takes questions during Kartik, but this time he took questions. So I asked a question because I had been helping one devotee proofread Padyavali, and there was some indication that even the elderly gopis, sometimes they have Madhurya Ras towards Krishna as a baby. I just could not get that at all. So I asked him to explain that at the end of Kartik, and there was about 400 devotees there, and right in front of everybody, his answer was, just see the pride. She doesn't even understand Bhagavad Gita, and she's asking questions like this. So I thought, oh, far out, this is so wonderful, because usually he only half gives me attention. You know how he is. He always looks in different directions and like he's watching a TV show. And half the time when I would speak to him, he would look in a different direction. So I thought, oh, now he's accepting me as his own. I was so happy. So then Maharaj says, he's chastising like the bunch of devotees. We are the lowest of poor beggars, and yet we are asking questions about the price of a ship. When we become qualified by sadhan, then we can understand all these truths. This is not so easy. And then he said, mushkil hai. Once we become more and more qualified, all these truths will be very easy to understand. Okay, now this one was asked, this next question, also in December. Yeah, I remember Radhika was there with us. She asked, if one is a Ram Das, devotee of Ram, if we preach to him about Lord Chaitanya's teaching, he won't change his Swarup, right? So Śrīla Maharaj said, so now here's where sometimes his message gets confused. Both, it can change and it may not change. And we'll show how that's really not a contradiction. So many devotees served the Lord like a friend and changed into Madhurya Bhakti, like Shivananda. They changed. So many examples are there. Shyamananda Prabhu changed, but he already explained that. His Swarup was Madhurya Ras. So it is dependent on the sincerity. And if you like to serve in Madhurya Bhakti, you can serve. but your interest in Madhurya Bhakti will manifest when you have connection with a Madhurya Bhakta, like Śrīla Mahārāja is a Madhurya Bhakta. As Shyamananda was inclined to Sakya Ras and then quote unquote changed to Madhurya Ras, his inherent Ras. So that is possible, and it was by the grace of Radharani. Radharani lost her ankle bell, and Shyamananda found it and gave it to her. That same Radharani put the ankle bell on the forehead of Shyamananda Prabhu, and he got a permanent tilak of Radharani's ankle bell shape. Even he tried to take it off and it didn't come off. Okay, so then also in December, because in July, he said something that sounded confusing, like a mango seed produces a mango tree and an apple seed produces an apple tree. But sometimes the fruit, first of all, turns out sour. And I didn't understand that at all. So I asked Madhavapriya Prabhu to ask him when we were there in December. And he said, so the question is, you mentioned that although it is true that a mango seed can only produce a mango tree, an apple seed can only produce an apple tree, etc., sometimes a fruit may at first turn out sour. For example, a grape tree is supposed to produce sweet grapes, but it may produce sour grapes at first. An expert gardener may then come and by some process turn those sour grapes into sweet grapes. So it could sound like, if we're thinking, if we already have a preconception that Śrīla Mahārāja is different from Gurudev and Prabhupada and so on, then we'll think that you can change your ras by association. So he's saying the expert gardener may come and by some process turn those sour grapes into sweet grapes. So what do you really mean by that? So again, right back on the mark, Shyamananda Prabhu was first in the state of a sour grape. He was associating with someone, not that Sakya Ras is sour, but it was an immature, not as sweet as Madhurya Ras grape. Meaning that in the association of Sri Hridaya Chaitanya, his inclination was towards Sakya Ras. That same personality who was supposed to be in Madhurya Ras later on met with a devotee in Madhurya Ras and turned the sour grape into a sweet grape. So everything became reconciled. And here where Śrīla Mahārāja is saying it can change and it may not change, we already heard many examples, but I want to show, because we put in the footnote something to show exactly, Gurudev says exactly the same thing. In his Valabhkusa Manjali verse 13, Srila Gurudev explained in 1991, if someone associates with Krishna's devotees in a general way, but his actual swarup is that of a Ram Bhakta, then when he reaches a certain point of progression in his service towards Krishna, Krishna will arrange that he will pick him up, bring him to Ayodhya, and he'll meet a Ram Bhakta when it's time. He said the Gopal mantra is one, and by that Gopal mantra, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya will develop in accordance with one's swarup. So when our acharyas give us the Gayatri mantras, they give us, unless someone is only getting Gopal mantra, because they're not yet ready for all the Diksha mantras, but we get, when we have all the Diksha mantras, we get Gopal mantra and Kam Gayatri. So the Kam Gayatri assures that his Gopal mantra will go to Madhurya Ras. Anyway, so Srila Gurudev continues. Worship of Ram is in the category of Dasya Ras. So it isn't that by chanting the Gopal mantra, the Ram Bhakta will automatically get realization of Ram. Rather, by chanting the Gopal mantra, which has all the rasas in it, At the appropriate time in the development of the sadhuk's chanting, Krishna will arrange everything for him, such as sending him to Ayodhya and so on. So Guru is one. Yay. So I think my time is up now. I think everybody gets something like a half hour.
You can, I mean, you can.
Unless I'll take questions if anybody has. Or is there a question period?
I asked everybody how long they would like to speak for, but we didn't get the opportunity to ask you. So, but I said to everybody they could speak for as long as they liked.
Okay. Well, I'm okay with as much as I said, because I said other things, so many other things during his Abhirbhav Titi Zoom.
Okay.
And next time I'll say different things. I have the opportunity, because the only thing that's sure is death. Yeah, does anybody have any questions?
My Dandavat pranams, Shamarani Didi.
Yeah.
If I just wanted to just clarify from what you were saying, if that's okay.
Yes.
First of all, I want to say how grateful I am that you picked this subject to speak on, because I was in a darshan with Śrīla Mahārāja, and there was a question about this subject, and I was very confused about the response.
Was
So
that
I'm
in
really,
July?
really grateful.
Was that the
No,
July
no.
one? Oh, a different
No,
one.
that was
Okay.
that was during Kartik in 2013.
Okay.
Vasanti Didi was there as well.
Okay.
So
Can I?
sorry.
Who is this that's speaking?
Oh, sorry. This is Taruni Dasi from the UK.
Okay, Taruni. Great. Okay, Taruni. Yes.
So I just wanted to make sure that what you're saying is that what Maharaj is saying is that the jiva is fixed in their eternal mood and service to the Lord, but for pastimes or development of a Bhāratī or pastimes of a Nitya Lila associate, that in this world, according to the association, that mood will either be developed or not. So they do need that association of that ras, and our development of our mood and our service to Krishna is dependent upon that association. It is dependent on our association.
Definitely. But it doesn't change according to association.
Right.
The right mood develops according to the right association to its final maturity. Whereas it could never, ever have developed to its finality in Shyamananda Prabhu in his association with Hridaya Chaitanya, because it just wasn't the taste that Krishna gave him and the power that Krishna gave him at the time of creation. Yes, that is correct.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this very much.
And also the second reason that I chose this topic is because it's a hot topic these days. And Sundar Gopal Prabhu just gave a 4-hour dissertation on Bhakti Zoom about this subject, defending the integrity and authenticity of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, because there are some classes of people, Sahajiyas and those like them, who like Radhakund people and followers, who say that Bhaktivinoda Thakur differs from Jiva Gosvāmī, and they say this because they neither understand Jiva Gosvāmī or Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that we have a eternal fixed swarup within us, but it's just in seed now. Yeah. So it's a topic that's discussed a lot these days, and so I wanted to share Śrīla Mahārāja's perspective.
Okay, thank you very much. It really reconciled this for me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Any other questions? All right, well, I'll just, no? Oh, Radhika. Radhika's here with me, a different Radhika. She said she has a question. Her question is, come here and say it in this. Come on, don't be shy. All right, yeah. What's your question?
My question is, if by some great fortune one comes to Gaudiya Sampradaya and then receives like Kam Gayatri, but their Swarup is actually in Vaikuntha or in Dwarka or somewhere else, then does that mean that it's the Kam Gayatri is kind of a default, like better be safe than sorry, or like, because like does the Kam Gayatri or Gora Gayatri or any of the other mantras have any effect on their development, or is it only Gopal?
Oh, she's asking a question. Is it only by Gopal mantra that one can develop to understanding what his real Swarup is if it's not in Madhurya Ras? And can the Gaur Gayatri or Gaur mantra or Kam Gayatri? Well, I think Srila Gurudev answers that by saying if someone comes in a general way, although most likely a bona fide guru will not give a Ram Bhakta Kam Gayatri mantra, because he knows, just like a gardener, an expert gardener, can look at the seed of any tree, and just by looking at the seed, he'll know what tree is going to come out, how luxuriant the tree is going to be, what kind of flowers, what kind of fruits. So similarly, a pure devotee knows what anybody has, not only those of Krishna's devotees, but any devotees, because he sees the seed. So generally, you won't have a bona fide guru who knows that giving the Kam Gayatri mantra. But if in a general way he's giving it and giving everything of bhakti, and the devotee, he's not even going to realize what he's chanting. Like most of us, we don't realize what we're chanting when we chant Gayatri mantra anyway. So we go on serving, and it comes to a point where we're ready to meet the guru of our ras. Does that make sense?
Right. But
Okay.
I guess I just mean, what is the point of cultivating a particular mood if you don't even know what your Swarup is? Like, Manjari Bhav mood or this or that, if like I could totally just be something else.
She's asking, what's the value of cultivating the Manjari mood if you're something else? No one can be cultivating the Manjari mood in a real way if he's something else. He's just imitating, or he happens to hear a class and he's imitating, yes, Gopi Bhav, but he doesn't know what he's saying, but he'll keep advancing as he's sincere in service, and then he'll be switched over. And if he doesn't get switched over in this life, then in his next life, he'll begin from that point, and he could go more towards the guru of his ras, because it's a many life process. It's stated or quoted in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu that after many millions of births of Sukritis, one gets the association of a devotee, and by association of devotee, one gets to be a devotee, means a pure devotee. If there are no more questions, I'll just mention like one other thing about my association with Srila Bhāratī Mahārāja. I don't know if I mentioned this last time or not, but what's his name? Shivananda Prabhu, he was just on before me. So, he loves me to bits. So the first time that I met Srila Bhāratī Mahārāja, Shivananda Prabhu and his good wife Krishnamayi were with me. And so Shivananda started glorifying me to Srila Maharaj. She travels all over the world with Srila Narayan Gosvāmī Maharaj. She served Prabhupada for so many years, painting for him, etc., and editing his books. And Srila Maharaj said, oh, that's nothing. Only something is if you can do Nam Bhajan. So he put me right in my place right from the first time that I met him. And then I said to him, because I had this question, because Vasanti although I'm senior to her in so many areas, she's senior to me in meeting Śrīla Mahārāja. And so I got envious that she's my junior and she's getting all this luck and I'm not getting any of it. But I don't really want it, actually, because I don't have any faith in him. So when I met him, I just frankly told him that, I traveled around the world with Srila Gurudev, but I don't really feel like doing that with you. This is my first meeting with him. I'm not attached to you. So I heard you're a pure devotee and, maybe I accept it, but really doesn't mean anything to me. So he said, no, you don't have to be attached to me. Guru is everywhere. He's in his books. He's in your heart. He's in every atom, everywhere. And then he started giving this whole dissertation on Guru Tattva in such a sublime way that I became attached to him and I began following him around India for years. Okay, so I'm going to end there. And thank you very much. I loved your association. And Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Srila Bhakti began. Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja Tirubhav Titi Maha Mahotsav Ki Jai. Maha Mahotsav Ki Jai. Maha Mahotsav Ki Jai. Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhyeva cha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo and Ebhyo Namo Namaha.
Okay, I've just seen a question come up and it's an anonymous question. Sorry, I know you're wanting to end here.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, so the question is, can you please say anything about the devotee who is in Madhurya Ras association and gets derailed thinking he's in Sakya Ras by that association?
What is he really in?
It's Madhurya Ras.
And
I'm sorry, Madhurya Ras association and gets derailed. I don't know. Can you please say anything about the devotee who is in Madhurya Ras association and gets derailed thinking he's in Sakya Ras by that association? So meaning, even though they're in Madhurya Ras association, they have this belief that they're in Sakya Ras.
Well, according to Śrīla Mahārāja in the quote that I read, and Srila Gurudev in the quote that I read, it can sometimes happen that someone could be in Madhurya Ras coming to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement and hear all about the reason for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's coming, which is to give that ras. But he may not be in that ras. So at the appropriate time, he'll be switched to the association of what his real ras is. If he's factually in Madhurya Ras, because the word you used is derailed, and he's imagining that he's in Sakya Ras, it doesn't matter, because if he continues doing service in this life or in the next life, he'll come to the proper understanding, because we have so many imaginations during this life.
Okay, they're saying thank you so much.
Was that clear?
I think I believe yes. Yeah, they're saying, oh wow, thank you so much.
Again, it's a many life process. In fact, Srila Gurudev said to me once, if it takes you 3 more births, that will be early. In other words, it's going to take more than 3 births for you, especially the rate I'm going now. Any last question? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ramana, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us.
Glories to Śrīla Mahārāja.
Jai, Jai. Okay, we'll just end with just a couple of minutes kirtan, and thank you so much for everybody joining on Facebook today and on the Zoom class. It's just been a most amazing day. Being with everybody, glorifying Śrīla Mahārāja today, and I just pray for everyone's mercy and blessings that I may have Guru Nishta in one lifetime towards him and my Gurudev, and for all of us, in fact. And please, anybody today or yesterday, please forgive all my offences that I probably no doubt have caused. But I appreciate so much everyone's association. Thank you so much. Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Mahārāja ki Jai, Jai Gurudev ki Jai. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhattacharya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri
Shivasari
Gaura
Gaura
Bhattacharya
Bhaktavrinda
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Jai Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Gora Jai Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Gora Vijñāna Gosvāmī Bhakti Gosvāmī Bhakti Vijñāna Bhakti Gosvāmī Bhakti Vijñāna Bhakti Gosvāmī Is there anybody that would like to read Gosvāmī? Taruni Didi, would you like to read Gosvāmī?
I'll do it. Okay. Jai Shishi Guru Garanga Gandavika Girid Hari Radhavana Biharij Ki Jai. Nichile da Pavishtum Shtapastatarsh to Shishima Bhadavanand Narango Sami Maharaj Gurudev Ki Jai. Nichile da Pavishtum Shtapastatarsh to Shishima Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Nichile da Pavishtum Shtapastatarsh to Shishima Bhakti Balabatirtha Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Nichile da Pavishtum Shtapastatarsh to Shishima Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nichile da Pavishtum Shtapastatarsh to Shishima Bhaktivedanta Drivigram Maharaj Ki Jai. Nichile da Pavishtum Shtapastatarsh to Shishima Bhaktivedanta Govinda Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nichile da Pavishtum Shtapastatarsh to Shishima Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nichile da Pavishtum Shtapastatarsh to Shishima Bhakti Pragyan Kesha Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nichile da Pavishtum Shtapastatarsh to Shishima Bhakti Daita Madhav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nichile da Pavishtum Shtapastatarsh to Shishima Bhakti Rakshak Śrīla Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nichile da Pavishtum Shtapastatarsh to Shishima Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nichile da Pavishtum Shtapastatarsh to Shishima Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Jagat Guru Nichile da Pavishtum Shtapastatarsh to Shishima Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nichile da Pavishta Paramahamsa Srila Gaudakishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Nichile da Pavishta Satchidanand Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki Jai. Nichile da Pavishta Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Gauri Vedanta Charya Srila Baladevi Jabhushana Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Srila Nanottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Traya Ki Jai. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Swarup Namadai Ramananda Rish Gaura Prasada Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prema Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Shri Gaura Bhatta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Andhadip Mayapur Simantaji Kajumaji Majaji Kolaji Pritiji Janaji Madhudrimaji Pritiji Papaka Shri Navadip Dhama Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Goko Vadanvada Shavana Makashi Brajmandala Ki Jai. Shri Shamakunda Radha Kunda Jamuna Gangutulasi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshanaji Ki Jai. Nishinga Bhagavan Ki Jai. Bhakta Pravashi Prahlad Mahārāja Ki Jai. Jaro Sampradaya Ki Jai. Karamat Raj Shri Chaitanya Mat Ki Jai. Shri Gauri Vedanta Samiti Ki Jai. All Gaudiya Mats and preaching centers Ki Jai. Shri Harinama Sankirtana Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Brinda Ki Jai. Samagata Brinda Ki Jai. Shri Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
And is it in England today? Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's disappearance day? No, Srila Haridas Thakur's disappearance today. Jai.
Srila.
It's today, isn't it?
Yes, Srila.
And Jai Śrīla Bhakti Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai.
Jai.
Okay, so thank you so much for your sweet messages and for your wonderful association today, and yesterday also. And so I'll conclude this wondrous glorification of Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Gosvāmī Mahārāja. And yes, thank you so much, and wish you all a beautiful evening or day wherever you are. Thank you so much. Very well.